Hello, everyone. This is Fred DeBerg from Spotlight Dance Arts Online, and this is another edition of Fred Talk. Today, I get the distinct privilege of interviewing somebody that I haven't seen for a while, but I have to tell you, I love this man. His name is Leonard Patton. Leonard, it's so good to see you. How you been?
I've been great. I've been great.
Yeah, you've
Living,
been
yeah.
busy. I see you online all the time. I mean, tell me what you've been doing these days.
Well, I mean, I've been doing quite a bit. I mean, since COVID hit, those first
Hmm.
couple months, I didn't do much at all, which was actually at that time kind of good for me because my life is always so busy, and
You
I
got a
I think
break. You gotta,
yeah,
you gotta, you got a
I
breather.
think it was personally, I think COVID is different for everybody. For me, it was like God's way of slowing me down. It's like, hey, just slow down for a while. So just hanging with the family. But then, I've been working a lot with this theater in Santee off Broadway Live, and we've been doing these concert shows. So they have these tribute concert shows,
Yeah.
and so when that second shutdown
Mm.
in July, they build a whole stage outside.
Oh, they
Um,
did.
so yeah, and
I
it's
didn't know
and
that.
so they've been doing these outside these dinner shows. So I've been working with them. So basically, since we were rehearsing in July, between July and the end of November, I've been doing something with them almost every weekend, actually.
Wow. Well, at
Yeah,
least you're
and
doing something. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and
Well,
then
I want this interview, Leonard, is
yeah,
really an opportunity for the San Diego County and abroad, just to get to know you. I mean, you are one of the most talented guys that I personally have ever met. I think you're an amazing musician. Your background is incredible. We've had the distinct privilege, or I've had the distinct privilege of getting to work with you in
wait,
shows
no, 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 no.
in the
I got to
past.
work with you.
All right. No, okay. The Mutual Admiration Society. How about
Yeah,
that? No, and I'm so glad to hear that you've been doing off Broadway and stuff. I want people to get to know you, and I wanted to ask you. So,
yeah.
when did you know that you wanted to be involved with music? When did it start?
Well, I guess, I mean, it
Go way back. Go
yeah,
way, way
I
back.
guess when I was a kid, but I didn't really know what I wanted. At some point in time, you got to discover the passion that you already have.
Right, right.
And so yeah, I love to sing and all that, but at some point, you know, sometimes it's in while you're still in school, sometimes it's
Right,
after
right,
in
right.
college,
Where did you go to
and
school, by the way?
uh, which high school or college?
Either. Or how about both?
I went to Mira Mesa High School. Grew
Oh,
up
did you?
in Mira Mesa. Yeah, go Marauders! Woo! So I sung in the choirs there. Actually, I sung in choirs since middle school, and then my first college was, gosh, I was a professional student for years, but my first college was USIU. Do you remember USIU?
I do. I
United
do.
States
Let's see.
International
Were
University.
you working it with Jack Tyget at all?
Yep, worked with Chad Tyget,
Yeah.
and a lot of good people there. Jamie Foxx was there at that time. Um, he wasn't named Jamie Foxx then, but Eric Bishop.
Oh, Aaron
um,
Bishop. I didn't know
Eric
that. He
Eric
switched his
Bishop, yeah,
name. Oh my goodness.
yeah. So um, I was doing musical theater there, and I was there for a few years. Then I went to Mesa College, um, got started doing classical, but that's really where I started singing jazz. I got into the applied classical music
Was it Mesa
program,
College? Mesa
Mesa
College?
College, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after there, I went to Berkeley School of Music in Boston for a little while. Then I
Fantastic.
came back and thought I wanted to do music therapy, so I went to Chapman University in Orange.
Oh, did you say
Didn't
music therapy?
Yeah, I almost got a music therapy degree in '98, but it didn't happen. I
Yeah.
fell short. Then I got married, and then I stopped school and then I
So,
went back to school later. But yeah,
so Leonard, what was the year that you got married?
1998.
It was 1998. Oh my
It's the
goodness.
same year the Padres went to the World Series.
That's right. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it hasn't happened since.
I,
No.
why you rubbing it in, man? Why you gotta? Why
I
you gotta?
know.
Oh, I thought
Oh
this was
my
gonna be a
goodness.
nice conversation.
Oh my goodness. Now
Yeah.
remind me of your wife's name.
Jerusha,
Say it again.
Jerusha.
Jerusha.
Yeah,
That's an exotic name.
yeah.
I
It's
like
actually
it.
it's actually one
It's
of
a very,
those lesser
it's a
known
very
names from the
sexy
Bible.
name.
It is. It is.
Jerusha.
Yeah,
I
Jerusha.
love it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's see. We did, well, let's see. We did Alice together at Christian Community
We
Theater.
did 3 shows. We did
I think
Route
we did
60.
Angel's Arms. We did Angel
So
Arms, and
the very first thing we did was Route 66. That's the first time I met you.
can I tell you that was awesome. That
That
was
was
so
fun.
awesome. I
And
mean,
then we
that
did, and um, then we did Alice.
that's right.
Then we did Angel's Arms.
That's right. That's
Or
right.
Lambs. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Route 66, I would love to revisit that one. Wasn't that fun?
That was
I
fun.
mean,
That was super
yeah. I
fun.
mean,
Yeah.
you have now. Did you ever end up? For those of you who don't know, Route 66 is from the same writers of Forever Plaid, which was on forever. And I
Forever.
know originally Christian Community Theater wanted to do Forever Plaid. They ended up doing it, but they originally wanted to do it, didn't have the rights to it for some reason, if you remember,
Yeah.
and we ended up doing Route 66 instead. So that was an interesting little tidbit of information there.
Yeah.
Now you've been, oh, I have to tell you, one of my favorite things that you did recently was that dub over where you did all your voices. You did,
A Holy Night thing.
oh my gosh. Well, I don't know if it was that one. Was there another one that you did too?
There might be another one. There's different ones, but the one that's been
Leonard, it
getting
is so
shared every
good.
Christmas. Oh, thanks.
It was so good. I mean, I probably gave you 100 views of that one on YouTube myself. It was just so amazing, and it just made me want to see you, even though we haven't connected, for a while. It made me want to see you. I mean, now before we came online, you said that you were teaching a Zoom.
I was teaching a Zoom voice lesson, so
Right.
it was
Right.
yeah. It's just
Now,
doing it. So one Zoom thing right to another. Didn't have to
well,
drive anywhere. That's nice, right?
yeah. Well, praise God for Zoom, can I tell you? Because
Yeah.
if it wasn't for Zoom, Leonard, I mean, right now we shut down my studio on Broadway.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
to do that, which was unfortunate and also a blessing in a way because all of a sudden I got a vision that I could set it up in my garage,
Yeah.
So Fred's dance space is a reality now, so it's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And I don't have that overhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Great.
Very good. Now, before COVID hit, what kind of projects were you lined up? What was going on?
So I have to go back and remember. I think COVID also
I know.
erased our brains, right?
Can
I
you
don't.
believe it's been 9.5 months?
It's crazy, and the thing is, I barely remember anything before March 15th. Like I have literally like I just don't remember that
And
much.
your days, I don't know, do your days just kind of blend in and people
They
go,
blend
you know,
in.
one day, okay, I can usually tell how long time passes by when our garbage is picked up at my house. I go,
Yeah.
it's already Tuesday. Well, they pick up on Wednesday. So I'm like, it's already Wednesday again? And then the other day, my wife and I were talking, and I go, boy, why is my hair grown out so much? Or something like that. And she
Yeah,
goes,
yeah, yeah.
because it's been 8 weeks. I go, no, that's not possible. You're like,
Yeah.
no, that can't be possible. Oh my
It's
gosh.
crazy.
Now,
I remember that I think my first Zoom meeting that I had, like, with, I forget who it was, with COVID. I missed it because it was in my calendar, but my calendar is so empty. It's in the middle of nowhere, and
I
normally our
know.
brains are like, we have our calendar filled up, but your brain is programmed. We know what's coming up. It
Yeah.
was like I missed it. I'm like, oh, that was, oops.
Well, with our studio, Leonard, with our studio we didn't do the fair. We didn't do San Diego County
Yeah, yeah,
Fair.
yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't do our dance concert. I had 3 shows with the school district that was completely shut down.
yeah,
Because what you don't know is before COVID, like you were saying, busyness, I
yeah,
was working 3 to 4 jobs.
yeah. Most of us
Because
are.
I
Most of
had to
us.
pay, here's the thing, I had to pay all that overhead at my dance studio. And we're a small studio. So
Yeah,
literally $3,000 to $4,000 a month I had to pay. So the only way we could afford it was by doing the school contracts. And when they shut down, all of a sudden I'm like, I
yeah,
have we can't do it. So we ended
yeah,
up having to close down. But then again, like I said, I don't have any overhead anymore.
yeah,
So it's like apples, oranges.
yeah. It's
You
amazing.
mentioned, yeah, I'm
I was
sorry.
just
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, because with all the stuff going on, I mean, yeah, my calendar was filled up mostly through the year, and I mean, you remember, literally in a week, delete, 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 delete. That's gone. That's gone. Until
Right, right.
it almost became a joke. I'm like, yeah, it's
Well,
just
it
crossing stuff
did.
off.
It did. And I think initially I had the similar response that you did. There was a point about a month ago or a month before we had to shut down. By the way, we had to shut down on March 19th. That's my birthday,
Uh,
March 19th. So I was like, happy birthday, you know.
yeah,
But at the same rate, I felt like once everything shut down, that all of a sudden I could breathe. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, kind of feel guilty that I feel kind of good about this. I don't understand that. Now that novelty has worn way off. Okay. It was really nice. My wife is extremely high risk due to an immune
yes.
deficiency, and Janice 5 years ago had a stroke.
I
So
I remember, and I
yeah,
remember. In fact, I think that's probably that may have been the last time I
I think
connected
that
and
was the
did a
last time that
message.
you and I were in contact. Yeah,
Like,
I think
I
so.
was following you, and when that was happening.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I tell you what, we've definitely got in the future, we still have Zoom. So there's probably something that we can do. We gotta get together and
oh
talk
yeah, oh yeah,
because like these interviews, I did in my wildest dreams, I didn't think I would be interviewing people, but I felt that the one thing I could do was try to keep the arts, the performing arts and the visual arts in general, in the minds of people in San Diego.
yeah.
And and I know that a lot of times San Diego is a pretty laid back kind of place. And sometimes the arts gets kind of lost. People don't really think about it. And then you're like, okay, we need to get them back. So this is my attempt to do that. So, um, Leonard, do you have kids?
I have three.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So how
Yeah.
old are they?
19, 18, 14. I've got one daughter. She's 14.
All teenagers. Oh,
Yeah.
and you got one on the verge of 20.
Yep. In a couple
Ooh.
months.
So you have a legal adult. Okay, what's it? Okay, what is fatherhood like to you?
I love it. I mean, there's always challenges, of
Well, how
course.
about having a whole house of teenagers?
It's
Is that a loaded question?
yeah, it's
Now be careful now. Because
they have their
your
moments.
wife
There's
can see this.
moments.
No.
There's moments every, they have their moment, their teenage moment where,
Hmm.
it's just,
Well, they're coming into their own, so.
yeah. And so that's just the way it is. But my boys are, they work, and they're kind of, they're learning responsibility and stuff. So
Do you realize my daughter is 33
that's crazy.
and my son is 25?
That's crazy.
Both of them are married, and I'm a grandfather.
Well, you're lying, but anyway.
I'm a
No,
grandfather.
I've seen pictures, so I know,
Oh
I
yeah,
I know it's true.
you've seen little Freddie, my
Yeah,
namesake.
yeah.
He's pretty awesome. He's pretty awesome. You know what, Leonard, if you were to think, off the top of your head, what would be one of those projects that really sticks out in your memory?
Um, well, probably my first. Actually, I'll say there's two things.
Okay.
One is my first album that I released in 2008.
What
That
was the
was
title of that? What was the
Love,
title of your
Love,
album?
Life, and Song. And
All right.
I remember because I was actually understudying. Oh, it actually it was the same summer that we did Alice. So I released it in like June or
Wow.
July. Yeah. And I was understudying my friend Keith Jefferson in Boomers at Lamb's,
That's
which
right.
ultimately years later, I did Boomers like a couple different times. But and it was a Friday night at a CD release. And I remember Carrie, uh, it was downtown at the Dizzy's, when Dizzy's was at the Wine and Culinary Center, which is like Boomers was being done at the Horton Grand Theater. And so that
Is
Friday,
Carrie is
Carrie,
is Carrie
Carrie me,
still at Lamb's?
yep, she's still there. She's still
Oh,
there.
okay.
So they released rehearsal early to all come to my CD release.
Mm.
And so that was a special time. So that's one. And then the other was in 2010. I told you I went back to school. I went back to school in 2007, 2008, 2007, whatever. I went to. I finally got my bachelor's at Cal State San Marcos. And then I did masters at SDSU. Um,
Wow.
so
Wow.
when
Did you complete your master's?
I completed it in 2010, and I
Congratulations,
did.
my friend.
Thank you. So that, accomplishing that and doing my my grad recital, I had like 20 musicians involved. It
Wow.
was pretty awesome. So
But you didn't
that was a
call
big
me,
thing.
man.
I barely knew. Well,
I'm teasing you.
it's yeah, I barely knew you. I mean, we had done, like I said, I think we did Alice like a year before that, or a year and a half.
Exactly.
Not Alice. Route 66. Sorry, Route
Route
66 a year
66.
and a half. Yeah,
Right.
Alice was that same year that I did my release, and Boomers. So
Yeah, it was
yeah,
so funny. You mentioned Alice again, and boy, was that an adventure. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if you remember. I mean, the very like 3 days, 4 days before we opened, they were just finishing the last scenes, and oh my gosh, they were writing it, and I couldn't believe that. Well, they made my part as R. Abbott, the White Rabbit. Everybody,
yeah.
R. Abbott. They made him basically become Satan. I was like, wow, I just went from a very nice man to being Satan. That was really cool. And you were the kind of the personification of Jesus. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
Or God.
yeah,
And oh man, that elevator scene where I went
yeah.
down and the lights turned red and you were like, oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was
That
fun.
was
That was
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Well, yeah, what an adventure, what an adventure. I can't wait for when COVID starts settling down and more people maybe get the vaccination. I can't wait to get this vaccination. I'm like,
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
please, can we do this?
Yeah.
Um, we need to stay in contact better than we have. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
that
here's
many
the
years.
thing. Here's the thing, Fred. It's sometimes things happen. Well, not sometimes, all the time
Mhm,
things happen for a reason.
absolutely.
And there are some people that I've been working with consistently or keeping,
Right.
and then there's some that I haven't worked with for a while. But then you reconnect, and then it's like you never, like things never. And
Exactly.
that's the thing, is if I mean, I always tell people, especially young people, make sure work well with the people around you. You're not going to
Mhm.
always work with them consistently,
Right.
but you never know. 5 years, 10 years down the road, you have an opportunity, and you reconnect, or you have an opportunity to get hired by
Absolutely.
that person you worked
Exactly.
with, and
Exactly.
that's happened multiple times in my life. So
Exactly.
it's our reconnecting now is meant to happen.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. You know what? But now we can keep each other in mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Leonard, thank you so much for this time. I mean, I really cherish the fact that you were willing to do this Fred Talk in the Spotlight interview, and
Yeah.
it's just a it's just a pleasure to talk to you again. And thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That any time.
Oh, this is awesome. This is
This
awesome.
is fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this episode of Fred Talk in the Spotlight. Again, my name is Fred DeBerg, and the whole purpose of these interviews is to keep the arts alive in San Diego. God bless you
Yes.
guys. Have a great day.
Yes. Yes.